All right, so I just picked up the RS4 Mini at my local Best Buy yesterday. Got it home, tried it out. There's one major flaw. I've got to take it back. It's a great gimbal. Everything works perfectly. But there's one major design flaw that just makes it unusable for me. All right, so I'm going to open it up, get all the pieces out. I've already taken this out, and I'm got it ready to go back already. But I'm going to show you what my issue is. Here it is. It's tiny. Love the size. Love the use of it. Love the practical, like it's tiny. It packs up super small. I've got a RSC2, which is a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. This is the RSC2 and the RS4 Mini, which there's not that much difference. The RS4 Mini is a little lighter than this one. Not a whole lot. But as far as packing it up, there's one thing that I don't like the folding of this one. I don't use the folding function that much. But I do like that it packs up and goes in my bag really easily. This one doesn't come apart. The battery handle grip doesn't come off or anything like that. So you're kind of stuck with this shape. It does lock, which I do like the locking functions and all that stuff. It locks up. But you're stuck with this shape. So if you're putting it in a backpack, it's a lot taller than the RSC2, or even the ones that the Pros that the handle comes off, the battery grip comes off. I like that much better. But this one's been great. I've had it for like 3 years, but that's not the major factor. The major factor for me is the plate. This plate is an issue. So I use the Peak Design capture clips. I use the pretty much industry standard plates that everybody else uses. All right, so the issue for me is the plate. The plate on this is proprietary. There is no Munford support, and the Arca Swiss that's on it is very specific to this DJI gimbal. So here's the thing. This plate looks like a Manfrotto plate. It has the same design and everything, but it's smaller. It's not the same size. It's slimmer. It's just smaller all around. Okay, and then this plate, which has Arca Swiss compatibility to it, is only Arca Swiss this way. Now, I use the Peak Design capture clip style Arca Swiss plates on all my tripods. I use Peak Design tripods. I use the chest mount for my backpack. I use all that stuff. And these plates are Peak Design plates, but they work with the other brands also. I have the Foul Cam, which I actually like better. I have that backpack strap clip that these work in. Those are the same. Those are all low profile Arca Swiss, super small. And if this gimbal is going to be something that's made for travel, which is what I was going to use it for, it's perfect. The tracking functions on it and everything, all those features are great. But I hate going somewhere and having to take a set of plates for the gimbal and have a set of plates for my regular carry on my backpack or my tripods. Now this plate would work on an Arca Swiss tripod, like a Peak Design tripod, used this way. But there's no way to mount it to your chest, on your backpack, on your clip. So for me, that's just a deal breaker. I use these straps on my backpacks all the time, whether I'm shooting a wedding, whether I am shooting around the world, doing documentary stuff in different countries. That is like my go-to spot to keep my camera. I don't use a strap, I use this. I feel like so many people use these clips. Okay, so on my RSC2, I was able to find a plate. There was the same issue in the factory DJI plate that they came with, but the benefit was that it was actually, this is a Manfrotto standard mount. So I have one Manfrotto fluid head tripod that I use that has this Manfrotto plate. So this plate is a standard plate that has an Arca Swiss, but the design difference is you can see the size difference right here in the two, and the thickness. So it's just bigger all around. It's the same type of design, but it's just much bigger. The Manfrotto is much bigger. This one's much smaller. So the other issue is this raised locking pin here. So on this one, it's kind of hard to see, but the difference in where the plate goes in and this locking thing is raised. On this one that I've got, it's a off-brand vlogger. I don't know, it's a vlogger brand. I can link it, ATMS. I got it from Amazon. Anyway, the DJI one had the same problem. The locking mechanism was on top, which prevented the Arca Swiss plate, which prevented the Peak Design Arca Swiss plate from locking in. It was too high on this portion, so it would not fit. So I was able to find this one online. Now, I was like, okay, I can use this same plate on the new RS4 Mini. Doesn't fit. It's not Manfrotto style. It's too big. It's too large to go in this slot. So that's the first thing. So Manfrotto, no support for Manfrotto stuff. Arca Swiss, there's no way, even with this RS4 Mini plate, there's no way for this to fit in here because of the raised element here. If this was not raised right here, if this portion, this locking pin, was not raised up higher, if that was the level, this right here was the level, it would be fine, it would go if the locking pin was in the back somewhere. But because it's up top here, it prevents this from sliding in because it's too tall. It won't go. It won't slide in. So all that stuff's a major issue for me. Those two things. I don't like to have multiple plates and switching out, trying to find a tool or a screwdriver or whatever I need to take off the plate. So currently, for me to be able to use this gimbal, I have to take my Arca Swiss plate off with a tool, which I have them on all three of my cameras, so I can bounce back and forth if I'm shooting a wedding or an event or something. And then I've got to go and I've got to lock this in and put it in place with the flathead screwdriver. So I have to put this in place. And then once that's there, it's fine. It works. The gimbal works great with this plate on it. But then I want to go to the other side of the property to shoot something and carry my gear. I want to put my camera right here. I can't do it. It won't go because this is turned the wrong direction. And I can't turn it the other way to make it slide. It would probably slide inside the capture clip with the Arca Swiss this direction, but it wouldn't lock in and the camera would have to sit sideways. It just doesn't work. So I wanted to be able to use this gimbal because of its lightness, because of its features, the tracking feature that it has. I don't have the module on here, but the tracking feature that it has looks great. But I mean, this is an A7C2. I used to have my gimbal before I was able to find this compatible plate. I had to have basically a camera that was locked on my gimbal all the time. It was stuck on the gimbal. And then I would always grab that camera and need to do something and try to put it on my capture clip, and it wouldn't work because it wouldn't fit. So then I would need to go grab another camera. It just makes the workflow so much harder. I want all the cameras in my bag to have the same plate. I want this low profile Arca Swiss style plate that Peak Design makes, Falcam makes them. There's some other brands that make these same plates. They're these low profile Arca Swiss plates. They fit on everything. When I go to use my Manfrotto fluid head tripod, I take this plate, the camera already has this plate on it. I just lock it in here. I just lock it in. And now my Arca Swiss plated camera is on a Manfrotto plate, ready to go, and I can use that other tripod, or I can use my monopod that I have that has the same Manfrotto plate on it. I don't use those two very often, but I don't want to have to go find the plate. I'll go to a shoot. I keep these things in my bag with my gimbal. If I'm going somewhere to a shoot and I want to have that tripod, then I have to remember to grab the plate and all the stuff. And inevitably, what's going to happen with this gimbal is I'm ready to travel, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to get some gimbal shots right here. All I have to do is pop it out, put it on the gimbal, and balance it real quick, and I can go. And if it's already balanced with the camera, pre-balanced, then I can just pop the camera on and go. Well, no, now I'd have to take the plate off with this Arca Swiss plate off and put the DJI plate on, and then put this on the camera, get it adjusted. It's just too much work. It's too much. It's too time consuming for a gimbal that is supposed to be ready to travel. It's super light, it's super small, it's ready to travel, it's ready for vloggers, it's ready for run and gun shooting. It's really a great design. Besides that, if everything else was the same and they would fix that one thing, even if they made an option for one to accept a low profile plate, I'd buy it separately. I'd pay extra for that. if I could just get one that would work with the RS4 system that I have. All right, so that's why I'm taking back the RS4 Mini. I love it. It's light. I played with it yesterday. It works great. But the fact that I don't have support for all the industry standard plates that I use on all my systems, I'm not going to use it because I'm not going to be in the middle of changing plates in the middle of a shoot, or in the middle of trying to do something, or trying to remember to keep up with those plates. So DJI, please, when you make a great design like this, please just add support for industry standard plates. You're so close. You're using RS4 here, which is great. But just go ahead and make it where it will support the clips and the tripods and everything that everybody else is using, so that we can use our gear interchangeably across all our devices. All right, so I hope this helps you. I looked online when I was trying to buy it, so all the reviews of all the rave reviews for the gimbal itself, so you can watch all those reviews in detail that other people have made. But this one specific thing I heard nobody talk about. And so this is something that I hope will help you in your decision if you use the same plate on all your cameras and you like to run and gun. This was my issue, and I had to buy it to try it out to see if it would work. There was no information online, and it was hard to even find stuff on DJI's site. So hopefully this helps you make your decision on which gimbal to go with.